So is it week 20 of BFM Breakdown?
Week
But
20.
Yeah, it's been a while. Almost half a year, which is pretty weird to think about. But anyway, as you know, we're here to learn about dogfighting, BFM, basic fighting maneuvers, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Jordo? Anyway, he forgot to turn the camera on. Is the camera on?
Uh-oh. These guys.
This.
No, that's alright.
Technically.
What you say to me, boy?
Yes, we are recording, so be careful with the words you use, is all I'm going to say.
Ooh. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm looking at you, Al,
Yeah,
specifically.
Yeah, ow.
Oh.
What about him?
English.
Alright, let's say when we're ready to go, John.
It's always the white one.
That was a good practice run, though, Ben.
Yeah, great, fabulous. Have you got the...
China.
Are you recording?
There you go. He fixed it.
So great! Time to learn some BFM.
But anyway, yes. Yes, okay.
Alright, go ahead.
Wow.
Anyway,
You're gonna get shot, dude.
alright.
VG muted me.
Yeah, but yes. We're here to learn how to dogfight. Oh, no, I'm lagging. We're here to learn how to dogfight. BFM, basic fighting maneuvers. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We've got people who've won tournaments here. We've got people who have never dogfought before. Hello, walk and talk. I can see you in the back. And we're just gonna,
What's the stream name?
Learn how
What's the name of the stream?
Homie, you live in the stream right now. Don't worry about that.
Oh.
It will be on the Dogfight Central YouTube channel. So yes, we are on live streaming this. So, and as I said before, be careful with what you say, is all I'm going to say. And that's about it. I'm going to hand it off to CD, and I hope you enjoy. There you go.
Alright, yeah, sweet. No, thanks for coming out, everybody. Glad to see so many people eager to learn more. Brings a tear to my eye, right? Gives us hope for the future of the community, right? And especially for competition. So let's go ahead and let's get this started, right? So today's planes, or at least ones we used, Spitfires, right? Awful lot of fun you have in these planes. Into the merge. So first thing that you're gonna notice, right? At least from that merge, right? My view's on the bottom. My opponent's view is down here on the bottom. Mine's up on the top, right? You saw my opponent merge underneath me, right? They willingly gave up some exclusive turning room, right? In favor of holding on to a bit more altitude, right? This goes into energy management, which is huge in these planes, right? When you're dealing with a plane that has a lower amount of power, right? Something that doesn't necessarily pick up its speed or generate a whole lot of kinetic energy very easily, right? It's not like a jet, you know? So it's like, oh, CD, how can you use it? You're giving up exclusive turning room. You're going to lose geometry. It's like, yeah, but I'm not playing the geometry game right now. I'm trying to play the energy game. So into that first turn, right? We're going to go ahead and look at the result of it real quick, right? So I'm looking up at my opponent, right? They're looking down at me. Here's what I'm seeing, all right? At low to medium aspect, right? He's sitting above me, right? And then about the same thing for my opponent, right? They went up a little bit higher. They committed to that climb, right? So they committed to that climb, right? He's sitting up here. He spent a little bit more of his kinetic energy to sit up here. I held on to it and decided to cut a little bit more vertical, right? So when he merged down here. I merged up here. He went vertical. I went horizontal. Held a lot of my speed coming through it. Maybe cut into it just a little bit. And now we're right here, right? We're looking at each other. Now, you can't really see it, right? But on my gauge, I got about 200 to 220 knots. I can't remember exactly how much, but I got more than enough to go vertical with him, right? So this is where that turning room stuff comes. Everybody's like, oh, don't give up a turning room, right? Like you keep your lift vector on your opponent, you maneuver in relation. He went up, but I didn't go up immediately, right? But right here, I can go up because I've got the energy for it. And that's exactly what happens, right? So we're maintaining a bit more of a neutral position by doing this, you know, deciding when I want to spend my energy and how. You know, I go up, and now we're in this nice little vertical, right? With a little bit of, like, it doesn't look like it, but there is a little bit of offset in there. And we're also kind of at low to medium aspect. And it's like, oh, well, what does that mean? What does that mean, right? Well, if you look with each turn, right, we keep that low to medium aspect. You're going to see that we're generating closure right, between me and my opponent, right? Like if you look between my screen, my lift vector isn't quite behind him. It's not quite on him. It's just slightly in front, right? You can see, like, as he comes out, right? I'm not sure if you can see it on the silhouette too well. I'll try and pause it at an opportune time, like right here. Right? Oh, Jesus. Okay. I didn't do it at a very good time. I'll get it on the next one. Right there, right? Like, you can see mostly the side. I'm at medium aspect. It's like, oh, well, what are you doing? It's like, I'm opening up my options, right? If I want to go into a roller here, which is exactly what happens, I can go into a roller, start cutting into their circle a little bit more. And my opponent's doing the same exact thing. Like, you can almost see that our views match each other, right? I'm at medium aspect, they're at medium aspect. That range is decreasing, right? We're both managing our energy. Like, as we're coming down, we're picking it back up. And then as we're going up, we're kind of riding it, right? We get a little bit wider towards the top, and then once we reach that apex of our turn, that's when we cut down, right? Now, right here, right? Let's go back just about a second here. Right? As we're coming down, see what happens there, right? Like, my opponent, I'm up here. They're down there. We're still in this roller. Oh, Lord, I need to orient myself here. Right here. There we go. We're in that roller. You can see my opponent, right? They took their lift vector just slightly off of my aircraft, right? Let me go back to it again.
No, not the stream, but like
right here, right? They're up. We're coming down. Lift vector goes off me just a little bit, right? That gives me just a little bit of turning room to work with, right? And now I'm starting to look at a little bit more of an offensive position, right? These are those little things you need to cue in on in the fight, right? It's a little bit more difficult, in jets because you have tighter turn circles, tighter margins, you're a lot faster, right? And you start seeing these things a lot faster. With these, you're slower, they're a little bit wider. It's a little bit easier to recognize these cues when you're doing it in planes like this, right? Now, I mean, you still need to be able to recognize them, when you go to do it in jets, and that comes with practice. But just those little things, right? They take your lift vector, or their lift vector off you for just a second. It gives you a little bit of turning room to work with, right? Like, you go into this roller, you're in this roller just like this, and you see that lift vector come off of you. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to pull in a little bit, right? I'm going to go to pure, close in some of that space, and get some angles, and then continue to maneuver in relation, right? So we're still at medium aspect. Options are still, fairly open. Just sitting at pure. We're not really moving anywhere. We're not going behind. We're not going in front. We're just kind of seeing what's going on, right? My opponent's doing the exact same thing. And the whole time that I'm doing this, I'm looking at my opponent, right? It's probably easier to see in the bigger screen. When I'm looking down, like as I'm coming down in my circle, I'm looking at the tail, I'm looking at the top. I'm like, okay, no, this is great. Like maybe we're slightly neutral. Whatever, right? But to me, this looks like, a little bit offensive, right? Even in the bottom screen, my opponent's view, they're nice and flat, and I'm coming down. I'm like, okay, cool. This is a good sign, right? Like, this is me cueing in on my, or recognizing my winning cues off the bat, right? Like, how many people here are familiar with cues? Like, Amigo, I know you're brand new. Like, are you fairly familiar with cues? Or what I'm talking about when I say winning, losing, neutral cues? Kinda? Barely. Yeah. A little bit? Okay, no. Here, we'll go over it, right? So, like, let's say, these are my planes, just like in here, right? And you're going to see it a lot more as the fight progresses. But let's say these are my planes, and they're in a raid or something. They look something like this, right? They're going around in a circle. They look at something like this. If I'm this red plane and I'm looking over, right here, I'll put it a little bit more centered. And I'm looking over at it from this angle right here, right? What am I mostly seeing? Right, when I'm looking at that plane, what parts of the plane am I seeing for the most part? Anybody?
The tail.
Amigo, what about you? What do you think I'm seeing right there?
The tail.
The tail, right? Like, I'm seeing the tail. Or let's say it's even further across, right? Like, let's say they're right there and I'm right here. Still in a winning position, but how am I going to recognize it? Now I'm looking at this guy, right? Like, I still see that tail, but what else do I see?
The rest of the body.
I'm seeing the body, right? I'm seeing that their nose is away, and it's mostly like a big, wide silhouette. It's like, okay, no, I see most of the tail. I see a nice, wide silhouette. I know I'm winning. I'm just further across the circle, right? Instead of being right up here, like before, I go around the circle. Now I'm right here, right? And then vice versa. From this guy's point of view, when he's looking back at this guy, what's he seeing? Right? What part of the plane is this guy right here seeing when he looks back at this guy? right? You're seeing most of the nose. You can see a look like silhouette or whatever, but if you're mostly seeing silhouette and nose, it's like, oh, okay, I'm losing. Even if they're way over here, right? You got these super wide turn circles and everything. If they're way over there and you look back at that guy and you see his nose, for the most part, it's like, okay, no, I am definitely losing. And it's much better for you to recognize that sooner rather than later, right? Because the longer that guy sits there and just rates and rates and rates, and maybe this guy, you know, he works some offset or something, he cashes in on some instantaneous rate, maybe does some high and low yo-yos and everything. The guy's, he's just going to watch this guy get further and further behind him, right? And that's going to close your gap to defend. And you don't want to do that, right? So you want to act as soon as you can. Right? We'll continue this right here. So we've recognized right here, it's like, okay, yes, even though it's just slight, I'm already winning, right? I'm looking at mostly the tail and the top. And now most people would look at that and be like, oh, he's slow at the top, right? He's really slow. Let's pull in. Let's go for that shot. No, you got to remember, you're in the same plane as that guy. Like, I don't know if you saw my speedometer there, but I was at like 90 knots, right? If I pulled in for that, I would have stalled. You know, it's all, it, again, goes into that risk versus reward, managing your energy, knowing when and how to spend it. Right, so what do? We just follow them, just like this. It's follow on BFM. We've already recognized that we're winning, right? Even across the circle, we can do follow on BFM. Now, right here is another set of cues, right? We go into that dive, right? We got done rolling around. Now we're starting to settle into the rate. We went from a really low energy state because we both ended up climbing, and now we're starting to hit the deck, right? This is where dogfights really go downhill, especially if you're defensive, right? So even in jets too, but especially in prop, right? Like in a prop, you know, two ways you get energy. You get it from your engine, you get it from gravity, right? Now your engine, we've already established, is pretty weak, right? Or at least compared to jet engines, you know. I mean, Spitfires and everything, they had pretty strong engines, right? Like they were fast, maneuverable. It could carry them through whatever they basically wanted to do, right? Well, I mean, in retrospect, pretty weak, at least compared to a jet, right? So gravity's a big influencer on our energy state, right? Our potential energy state. That's like your bank account, right? Or your savings account in a bank. It's like, okay, I've got this saved up here. I can use that later to get airspeed, right? Kinetic energy versus potential energy. Kinetic energy, it's like, okay, that's what I got in my engine. I can spend that right now. You know, I can go, I don't know, like buy a brand new game with that money that you have, right? Like, or you can pull in for some instantaneous, try to get lead to shoot a guy or maybe cut into their circle, right? But if you're high up, it's like, okay, I've got more to go. Oh no, I just cut into this guy's circle and he outran my nose. Well, now I got like 1,000 feet of altitude. I'm just going to nose it down. We'll get some of that speed back, right? If you need to. But when you get into a situation where both aircraft have been spending their energy, you know, all willy-nilly and everything, and then you hit the deck because, you know, you just, like, we've run out of savings account, right? We're no longer up high. We're now down low. We're on the deck, and it's all about our engine power. If you're defensive, this limits your options, and you don't want that, right? So when we're looking at this, at least from the top view, right, like, what do you see in that silhouette? Anybody? Like, what do you mostly see on that plane?
The fronter base of the end going forward.
The front end. I mean, kind of, yeah. You also see a nice wide silhouette, right? Like, it's very wide. At best, like, we're neutral. Give or take, right? And then, if you look in the bottom one, what do you mostly see?
The nose.
The nose, exactly. So compare the two, right? Like, here's a nice big, wide, or well, not big, but a wider silhouette, right? Where you're seeing more of the plane. Whereas compared to here, you're seeing a more narrow silhouette, right? It's like, oh, if you're seeing a narrow silhouette and you're looking behind you, odds are that guy's nose is pointing at you unless they're flying away. But if you're in a dogfight, they're not just going to fly away from you when they got their nose onto you, right? Like, nobody's going to do that. At least I hope. Right? Whereas if you're, you know, thin silhouette in front of you, it could either be, you know, they're head on or you're right behind them. Either way. But in this situation, right, you see the nose for the most part. It's like, okay, yeah, we're slightly winning, at least from the top, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to cash in some of that energy, pull in. We're going to create a little bit of offset. Just a little bit, right? This is another example where you see people go, oh, I'm going to just pull in because I'm coming down. I got that instantaneous to pull in, right? Like, I'm going to go for that gunshot. No, like, you can, but it's risky. You're already winning. Why not hold on to it and just break into the rate, right? Like, if you look at that top view, you see for the most part our opponent is fairly stable in our canopy, right? Like, that's what we like to see. Again, it's limiting their options, as we get into the rate. Now, right here, you're going to see where they pull it, and you can see the range start to decrease, right? This is where offset is starting to get generated, right? You'll see it in the next couple of turns that range between the two aircraft starts to get closer and closer and closer. And a lot of times people don't recognize it even when they're offensive, or they go in for that head-on gunshot, But ways you can counter this, right? Like, if you ever see somebody in your cockpit, right, and you're in this rate fight, just like that. Like, let's say these are our two aircraft in our rate fight or whatever. And you can see them getting closer to you, right? Just like in this pass. Like, here's our circles. You see them getting closer and closer, or at least further out front. It's like, oh, hey, this is where our two circles are intersecting, right? This is where this guy, right, our defensive aircraft, is going to try to pull in, right? Because best case scenario, he pulls in, you get a head-on pass, and he can redefine the fight into a one circle. He's already slower, maybe, give or take, right? Like, that's what he wants. So how are we going to deny that, We recognize beforehand that they're trying to get some offset. If you're looking at something like this, where it's like, okay, there's a lot of room between us, but I know that he can pull because I can pull, right? Like, we could go nose to nose here. So why not extend your turn slightly, right? Like, you don't extend it too much. Otherwise, you create way too much angle off. You give away turning room. Maybe this guy can get his nose on because now you've got a mile wide turn circle. So, you just extend it ever so slightly, and then you pull into him, right? And you'll see it here in the next couple turns in this fight. Right? You'll see the opponent get closer and then further and closer, and now and then eventually stabilize because we deny them that offset, right? If you deny that defensive aircraft offset in the beginning of the rate, there's very little that they can do. And then later on, when you're more and more offensive, you get further and further around the circle, just like here. That's when offset's really going to favor you, because the more that they create, it's going to give you an opportunity to start shooting them. Geometrically. And just like as we continue, you just kind of wait for your opportunity to shoot them, right? Like, you can see that for the most part, we just keep them right above that canopy bow, like maybe one or two fists, right? Let's use your canopy as a means of measuring. If I just keep them right here, I know I'm going to be nice and stable, right? And see right here, you see the range close in. We've recognized where the offset is. We're going to extend out. And now right about here, right, we're recognizing, okay, we're getting further and further around this circle. We're not going for that shot yet. There's still quite a bit of aspect problems to deal with, right? We're still at fairly medium aspect. They pull in again, we'll extend right here. We're already high. And then as we start going low, that's when we're going to start cashing in. We're going to realign our circles. Again, maximizing our options, limiting theirs. And especially while being on the deck, like, that's going to help us out a lot, right? You see them pull in. We're still trying to get that offset. Just extend away. As soon as you get close to that point of the circle where the two circles intersect one another, then you start pulling in, right? It helps you align yourself. Like, a lot of people we see, they get impatient, and they go for those head-on shots, or they compromise an otherwise winning position to try and get a quick and easy kill. And then the other person reverses it on them, and, they end up losing the fight just because they didn't have a little bit of patience. You know what I mean? As you work around that circle, you just wait, and then boom, right here, we're like, okay, that's a lot of range. We're nice and slow, got plenty of energy, booyaka shot. You wait for that nice and stable moment to take that shot. It's more or less it's your best odds of killing that person without compromising a winning position. Now, what could have happened, right? Like, if that missed. It's like, okay, well, we established that we were already winning that rate fight, right? We got a lot of range. We pull in, oh no, we missed. We're going to overshoot. Just go up. It's like, we know we're already at an energy deficit. Like, we've got an advantage as far as kinetic and potential energy goes. As soon as we cross, if they try to reverse it, just go up. Go back around, redefine it into a vertical. Because I know that they're not going to be able to follow you up, right? Like, that's the safest bet. Questions? Anybody over any part? Sorry, I kind of rambled on. I didn't really take a chance to pause and ask people questions, and I apologize for that. But if there's anything anybody wants to know or didn't understand throughout that, or maybe, I didn't explain it very well in the moment. We can go back and look at it really quick. Not that this is a timed thing. Like, we'll sit here and yap about this all night if there's even one person interested in it. Also, don't be afraid to interject too if I'm giving false information or if I'm not quite explaining something accurately either.
Fine. Yeah,
I know you got my back.
Obviously, CD. I
know you got my back. You back me up.
Can you draw an aspect circle for me?
Yeah, I could draw an aspect circle for you.
Or yes. A good, I guess, a good way of kind of, when it comes to, how to say, when it comes to winning and losing cues, another way you can gauge if you're winning or losing a dogfight is in terms of aspect. So if you yourself, so obviously aspect is measured in degrees off the tail. The closer you are to the tail of the aircraft, the lower the aspect. So actually put the 180 on the top, CD.
Oh shoot!
And the 0 on the bottom. Yeah, that's okay.
I put him backwards. I was like, zero in relation to this guy.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Aspect increases the further away from the bandit's tail you are. So a good way of kind of gauging if you're in a defensive situation is on your end, you'll realize that aspect is decreasing and getting lower and lower. You get more low aspect in relation to the bandit, whereas in a defensive situation,
I think it might have got disconnected there for a second, or at least his mic did. Oh, there he is. Oh, Ben? A little bit of technical issues.
My gosh, CD, help me. Oh, there you go, back.
Yeah, you see, last week it was me, this week
Where
it's
was
you.
I?
That's okay.
Crazy.
You were talking about how the more and more offensive you get, the lower and lower aspect gets, and then when you get defensive, aspect gets higher and higher.
Basically, is all. Gosh, who's killing me? Anyway.
If it works, it works.
Okay, yeah, no, like what Ben's saying, right? Like the more and more defensive you get, the higher aspect you're going to be to this guy, right? Like I'm looking back at this guy, I'm seeing more of his nose.
Lovely.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get this out of the way.
That's all I'm saying, basically, is if you're winning the fight, you'll be in a lower and lower aspect situation, more behind them, obviously. But obviously, aspect, you've got high, medium, low aspect. Aspect is measured like it doesn't matter what angle you're facing. You could be facing this way and you're in a low aspect situation. So if you see your bandit at a higher and higher, or you watch the bandit's aspect increase relative to yours, it typically means you're losing the dogfight in most situations. Obviously, if you're in, let's say, a neutral pass, if you face these two planes towards each other, you're in a high aspect situation, but this is you're both in a high aspect situation, and your rate of closure increases, obviously, and you will end up passing each other. But in most scenarios, the higher aspects the bandit is in relation to you, the worse you are off in that situation. And it's vice versa, it goes the opposite. The lower and lower aspects you are in relation to the bandit, the more better off you are. And that's all I really had to say to explain kind of defensive and being defensive and offensive. Before my PC tried to blow up on me.
Here, we'll do a quick little like check on learning thing. All right. So let's say you're in the red plane, right? So this is you. All right. This is your opponent. If you are in a position that's like this, what aspect are you at to your opponent?
I gotta put it up high.
Anybody? You're at low aspect, right? You are at 0 degrees aspect. You're right behind your opponent. And what about this? What if you're coming off to him on the side?
Pilot, this is why we were making fun of you for like your choice in Avatar.
It's medium aspect, right? 0 to 180, 90. That's right in the middle, right?
The hair on that avatar is really
And then nose to nose. What's nose to nose going to be?
Hi.
Here, yeah, hi, exactly. Now what if we got something like this, right? Like they're turning off this way and you're behind. You're behind it. Yep. Medium to low.
Mid.
Right? Medium to low. We can slot in right here. We can go right, like we can get stable right here.
What is this line, Falcon?
Now what about
What is
this?
line? What
Can't cross
what
it.
does it mean?
Stay back.
What is this?
Medium to high.
What is line for?
Medium to high, right? Now what about this?
You're putting a barrier between us and him?
Jono's signaling. Hey, Jono's signaling.
Both heading
Still
away
low.
from each other.
Come on.
You're at low, right? Like it doesn't matter where your nose is pointing. All that matters is your position relative to their nose. So if I'm heading away from this guy and he's heading away from me, in relation to him, I'm at his tail. I'm still at very low aspect, right? Now what about this?
High.
High, exactly, right? We're off his nose. How about this?
Medium.
Medium.
Medium. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter like where my nose is pointing. What matters is where his is, right? Like at least that's how it's measured, right? Now, better off, you know, if you're going to be high aspect, to give him high aspect too. I don't want to be at high aspect while he's at low.
Mr. CD, put him back to where he was pointing to the side.
To where he's pointing the
No, above him. Turn it around.
above him right here.
There,
Right here.
like that. The bandit would be in a high aspect situation, and you would be in a medium situation, relative to the bandit. So the bandit is, if the bandit's the blue plane, the bandit is currently in a medium aspect situation, whilst you, if you're in the red plane, you're in a high you're high aspect, because it's relative for both aircraft. And if you're off the tail of both, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. There.
Like if their nose is pointing at you, high aspect. Pointing away, low. Right? And then in relation, right? He's at high aspect. Now he's at low aspect. Now he's still at low aspect. Now we're both at high. Questions, comments, concerns. Anything you guys want to see again or go back over? All right, cool. Well, oh,
Sorry.
what's up?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying, just if we can replay the whole battle. Just so we
The
can
whole
see.
battle.
Yeah, we can watch it all as a whole, like in one.
We'll go
Run
right
it
back
from
over
the
it.
top,
Yes, sir.
gentlemen.
Thank you, MP.
No problem.
Oh,
I always told
okay,
you.
there we go.
Pookie Bear.
So again, into the merge. Opponent goes low. We stay mid, right? Pull in, so that way we're not giving up any turning room. Now we're going to orient ourselves, right? We're like, okay, cool. Fairly neutral. We're going to follow them up. Maneuver in relation so we continue to not give away any turning room. Keeping ourselves more or less at medium aspect. I don't want to go to low because even though like that's going to stabilize us, right? That could give away geometry because, you know, they started faster. They got up there first.
Okay.
So we got to stay somewhat within their circle.
If the screen
Somewhat.
is lagging, just resync yourself over here.
Reload the video. Yeah, reload the video.
Oh, okay, here. Go ahead, reload it. You should be able to click it right there. It says resync. It's got a green chain on it.
I tried that, but it won't work. I had to reload the
Okay,
video.
yeah, no, we'll just reload it. That's fine. There we go. It's reloading right now. There we go. Is it working now? It should be paused.
Yep, it's paused right now.
Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll continue on then. Should be playing
Alright.
now.
No one's seeing it, right?
Right, and the whole time we're going through the OODA loop, right? We're observing what's going on, orienting ourselves, deciding what to do, right? And then we're acting. Constantly going through it. It's like, okay, medium to low, medium to low. I'm now like at the apex of my speed, coming back up. I'm gonna get slower. I'm gonna get slower. Let's go to lead real quick. Let's cut in some. Let's cut into this circle. Let's make it a little bit tighter on our opponent, right? Put a little bit of pressure on them. Just constantly doing that over and over again, all right? Observing, orienting, deciding, acting. As soon as you get really good at doing that constantly and proficiently, then like you're going to be fantastic at dogfighting. Because the faster that you can go through that process, the better off it's going to be for you, right? Like if that guy has to take an extra second to think, that's an extra second that you can use to get onto their tail. And while this is playing too, if something that you see that doesn't quite make sense or you want explained, just say so, right? We'll pause it and we'll go back into talking about things. Like through it all, you can see for the most part, lift vector's staying like, you know, pure to lead, but mostly in pure, right? And it's keeping us nice and stable.
I remember the one part you're saying keep your opponent directly right at the center of the canopy, like you said.
So not at the center of the canopy, right? About 1 to 2 fists above that canopy bow, right? If you manage to get your opponent there, right? If you get into a winning position and you get your opponent stabilized there, you're basically in what's called the assessment window. It's a spot where if you hold them right there, geometrically and both with energy, like you're going to be stable, you're going to be fine. Like you've pretty much won the fight. You can just sit there, bide your time, and decide what you want to do. Really think things out, right? Like that's your home. You're nice and cozy, right? It's like, okay, you know what? Hey, let's try this. You know, like being offensive. Not that I would encourage any of you to try to make any mistakes, but being offensive, you can afford to make more mistakes than the guy that's defensive, right? The guy that's defensive makes one mistake, that could cost him the whole fight, right? Whereas you, it might be, oh, I've given up a little bit of geometry, you know, or I've given up a little bit of position, and then you can get that back, right? It's a lot easier getting it back when you're offensive or even neutral, you know. But a fatal mistake, like that's what's gonna get you, you know. Like if you don't watch your range, aspect, or closure, right, and you get really close to the guy, you try to make a gun pass and you miss, and you overshoot his 3-9 line and he reverses on you, and you know you sped past him doing 250 knots, and like, you know, he sat there at 200 and just reverses his turn and follows you up because, like, or at least in these planes, they're more than capable of holding that speed while on a climb. It's like, oh great, now I just lost all of my position, you know, stuff like that. But conducting, you know, good follow-on BFM is going to prevent you from doing that, right? And there's some people that, you know, they get a little confused when we talk about follow-on BFM. It's literally what it says, right? Like, as we're talking about this, like, oh, here's me, right? Here's my opponent, and they do a break turn, right? Now, I got the room to turn in and try to shoot him, but if I do that, right, I'm increasing my aspect to him, right? Here I'm at low, and right there, like, we could be at medium, you know? Closure becomes a thing, because I have to pull lead to try and shoot him, right? Instead, go generally, you know, to the point where he maneuvered, and then follow him, right? Like, even mathematically speaking, when you're in the same plane, you're going to be in this exact same position, just now you're going in a circle, rather than going straight. You know, it doesn't compromise your position, and that's a lot better of a situation to be in than, you know, giving it up to try and get a quick snapshot off. Again, risk versus reward. Like, if you go for that shot and you know you can hit it, hey, go for it, right? But if you miss it, just, you know, keep that in the back of your mind. If you miss it, it could compromise your position entirely. Oh. Someone done brought their pets to class.
It snuck into my backpack. What do you expect me to do?
Do I need to put my wrist kit back on too? For another little kiss on your teeth?
Yeah. Even in this, like, as you're watching it, you can see the points where, you know, my opponent's pulling in. You can see our planes getting really close as they cross one another. It's like, you could go for that gunshot, but again, why risk it? Why, like, you can shoot at them, but they can shoot back at you. Don't give your opponent options. Limit their options, right? Remember, like, that, whenever they pull in, that costs them energy, you know? And it costs you energy to try to follow it up. And if you're already in a winning position, it's like, oh, okay, they're pulling in all that energy, right? Like they're spending all their kinetic energy, pulling that nose in, trying to give me aspect problems to redefine this fight. It's like, okay, cool. I'm just going to hold on to my energy just for a little bit, right? Maybe extend just a bit, so that way my turn circle doesn't get too wide, outrun the nose, and then on the next turn, gain back way more position, right? It's like an investment. It's like, okay, I'm going to give up some here, give up some here. Where are the planes? There they are. Right, these are our planes. We'll say they're pulling in. Oh, geez, flip this around. Right, this guy's pulling in. We know he's going to try to get nose on. It's like, okay, extend here. All right, we've outran him. Now this guy's got to get his speed back. And then right over here, because like around our circle, we've held onto it. Now we're going to bleed down as he's regaining his speed. And because we picked a little bit of speed up, right, coming around this circle, we could just bleed down to where we were before. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now I'm in an even better position than I was in before, relatively speaking, right? This is all, oh, geez. These are all hypotheticals. You know, actual fights could be different, but just an example, right? You outrun that nose, and as he's regaining his energy, coming around, you know, the backside of that circle, that's where you're cashing in on instantaneous. You pull down to that sustained rate speed and get into a more stabilized and offensive position, right? Because now, if this guy tries to do that again, he's even, you know, further behind in the circle, and that's just going to be bad for him. Or even if he gets to, you know, let's say he gets to, oh Lord, optimal rate, right? Because we're already way more offensive, and there's this offset. Now it's like, oh, hey, I'm at low aspect, and I got all this room between me and him. Right here, I'm going to pull in, maybe go for a shot. And then because I'm pulling in, right, because we like, you start it way back here, you go for that shot, you ease off, you keep that range between you and him, you just go past their circle again. And instead of, you know, overshooting here, if you overcommit, you overshoot way back here, right? And then this guy's got a decision to make. It's like, oh, do I want to reverse it, or do I just keep going? Either way is honestly a bad decision for this guy, right? Because if this guy's already winning, it's like, oh, I'm going to reverse it. There's so much room between them. All this guy's going to do is yank on in and start shooting at him again, potentially. I mean, that would honestly be the better option of the two, because then this guy could create some closure and aspect problems for this guy to try and solve. Maybe work an overshoot, you know, you get into a scissors. Or if he keeps on going, guess what? Like, as soon as I get around that circle again, at that same spot I'm pulling in, I'm going to go for another shot. Right? I've already got the geometry. I've already got the energy for it. I've got the position. It's very low risk for our offensive guy. That makes sense to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Questions?
The Three Strikes Razor has joined the lobby.
The Three Strikes Razor has... that's the guy who should be up here teaching this. What am I doing?
Let's join the lobby. No way. Is that the Three
But,
Strikes
yeah.
Razor? Hello, the Three Strikes Razor.
That makes sense to everybody, though, for the most part?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I'll keep on looking.
All right, cool. If you guys aren't wanting to go back over anything and it all kind of makes sense, give me a minute. We'll get an instance up. We'll go do some fights. Yeah, put some of this stuff into practice. All right, cool. You know, use a plane. We haven't used. What do you say? How about the F-15? The novice world F-15. Yeah, no, I haven't done. We haven't done one of that yet. So the 15.
Eagle.
The 1-5. Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Give me 1 second, and I'll get this world going.
Because of G, sonny.